What's good, y'all? It's your man ZenTechFit. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Hey, if you are new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to get those numbers up so I can do some more crazy fun stuff on the channel for you guys. My goal is to at least get to, hey, 4K, 6K by the end of the year. I think we can do it. But at least let's try to push to 4K. We are almost there, and I just need you guys' help to do it. So the best way you can support me, if you've been viewing my videos and checking out the stuff that I do, make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And you can always unsubscribe later if you don't want to stay on the channel. But hey, you want to join the squad? Subscribe now. Today we're doing a fun Power Rangers Halloween special type of video. It's gonna be really fun. So, and before I get into that, I also did, like, what was this, maybe a year ago or 2 years ago? I can't even remember. But it was like an animated, my attempt of doing animation. I did like this Power Rangers chilling like a villain, featuring the Crypt Keeper as the Green Ranger, and yeah. I want to blame it on quarantine, but this was before quarantine that I did this video. I was just having fun. I was trying something out with like Power Ranger villains, and it was around Halloween, and I was trying to do like a Spooktober type of Power Ranger video that was animated when I was doing a little animated. I'll post a link in the description. So if you're interested in checking that out, go check that out after this video. So a buddy of mine sent this to me. It's like, I don't know if it's an article. I know it's by Screen Rant. So there's that. I think it is an article. And it goes through Mighty Morphin Power Rangers characters ranked from most to least likely to die in a horror movie. So let's check it out. I'm curious. This is our Spooktober time, and it's Halloween time, but we got to do something and mix and mash for Power Rangers, so let's see what it's about. So, if the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were put in a horror movie, which characters would survive? So it goes on to say, children's shows aren't usually associated with horror movies, though Mighty Morphin Power Rangers did employ its share of scary episodes themed around Halloween for a younger set. Produced in the 90s, the show spotlighted a group of people who had super abilities thanks to their power coins. That group, however, was also made up of high schoolers, the prime age group targeted in horror movies. So if the original Power Rangers didn't have those power coins, they would have just been regular teens getting through the day. If their world was interrupted by a slasher flick, some of them would be much more likely to survive than others. So number 10 looks like Rocky. Rocky is a great guy. So we're talking about Rocky the Red Ranger. He's super supportive of his friends and always ready to jump into a fight. That means he's also likely to be the first person to walk right into a trap. Yeah, that's pretty true. I would agree with that. That is pretty true. Because, he's kind of like, I feel like he's kind of like a sporty-ish type of guy. I wouldn't say jockey necessarily, but maybe a little bit of a jock. So, yeah, he definitely kind of, I could see like him being kind of like one of the first people to get into a trap in a horror movie. That makes sense. He's not the most observant of Rangers, so if he's taken by surprise, it's all over for him. Rocky would likely be the opening death. Dang, that's jacked up. The one that surpasses fans because he doesn't live to warn people of the danger, despite the fact that he knows how to defend himself. Dang, Steve Cardenas, I'm sorry, man. Number 9, Zack. Oh, this will be a good one. I'm surprised he wasn't the first one to die. Is that racist? Come on. Y'all know when they said Zack, the Black Ranger, we was all thinking that at first. Okay, it can't just be me. In a lot of older slasher movies, the people of color tend to meet the killer first, and they almost never survive. Thank you. It's a trope that's been highlighted in a lot of more meta takes on horror. That's not why Zack ends up in this particular spot. Interesting. Instead, it's the fact that Zack is most often used as comic relief amongst all Power Rangers. Even his fear of bugs is played for laughs. There are two ways Zack's death could go. He ends up dead after joking about a serial killer, or his biggest fear would be used against him. I could see that. Like, and definitely like, not one of the first kills, but like down the road in the movie, like maybe he's second to last to die type of a thing, but definitely that comedic relief you know, or his fear is used against him, like they're saying here. So, and that's, I think that's something that we've seen in the show too, where that's true to the character. So I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Number 8, Jason the Red Ranger. The team leader can't be an early victim, or can he? As the typical all-American hero of the 90s, Jason is sure to be in the killer's sights. Jason is a great leader. He's the kind of guy who would get his friends to safety and stay behind to take on the killer himself, fulfilling one of the tropes in some of the best slasher flicks. Jason losing the fight is the kind of thing that takes place halfway through the movie, with the audience not quite sure if Jason lives to make it to the sequel or not. I would agree with that. Like, Jason, he's the leader. He definitely is that kind of character that's like, you know, I'm gonna make sure my friends get to safety. I'll stay behind and fight the villain off. And I could definitely see where it's like unsure if you don't know if he survived or not. So I could see that. Number 7, Adam, the second Black Ranger. Adam is the quiet type. He's the kind of character who definitely believed he was living in a slasher movie and tried to figure out who the killer is. So kind of like investigative. Adam is also the kind of character who would watch his friends die and get more and more determined to catch the killer. Okay, while being written as a red herring for the audience to think he was the killer. Despite his intelligence, he can sometimes be blind to what's really going on around them. He did, after all, fall for Scorpina's disguise as human being once. Ultimately, Adam would end up cornered. So, there you go. Second, all the Rangers are dying, man. Number 6, Aisha. Aisha joins the team at the same time as Adam and Rocky, and she's a lot smarter than people give her credit for. She becomes the person in charge of fire safety at school and makes a big move to help save strangely behaving animals on the African continent. Aisha even notices when Adam's date can't be trusted. Aisha would make it pretty far in the events of a horror movie. She even almost made, I love how they're like, she'd even almost make it to the end. Chances are, however, that the killer would take her out before she could discover who they are. I definitely see her being someone who's very, like, cognitive to, like, her environment. You know what I mean? But look, hey, it looks like she makes it close to the end. She's strong, you know? Number 5, Tommy. Hey, y'all better not do my boy Tommy wrong. Tommy gotta live. Okay, I don't care. Let's go. Let's see what they're saying. For much of the series, Tommy is the romantic lead, I guess. When he catches Kimberly's eye, they become the couple of the series. Because of that, both characters have a little bit more staying power than the others. But that doesn't mean they'll both survive. Tommy isn't the most observant of his friends, but he is fiercely protective. If fans followed 90s horror movie logic, he'd probably be suspected as the killer by the audience at one point. And if he didn't turn out to be the bad guy himself, he'd definitely end up in the line of fire for his girlfriend. I could see that. Okay, I could see that. Like, him being like the pretty boy, him being like the love interest. I could see him, if they're following 90s horror, you know, films, he could end up being, you know, the villain. Interesting enough that he was the villain at first in Power Rangers. Like, he was the evil Green Ranger before he became good. So, you know, I could see that happening if they were in the horror flick. Or, you know, like dying to save Kimberly or his friends or something like that. So, okay, I agree with that for all us Tommy fans out there. Number 4, Kat. The final new member of the team in the series, Kat is the perfect character to paint as the mean girl or the secondary villain of the movie. There would be plenty of reasons to suspect her as being the killer behind the mask, but of course, she'd be one of the good guys. And she's kind of similar to Tommy, where they both started off as evil and then became good. If Kat didn't survive the events of the slasher flick, she'd certainly be one of the last characters standing, if only to serve as the last minute twist that she's not a threat to the heroes at all. Number 3, Billy, the Blue Ranger. The one who frequently, I can't even speak, the one who frequently develops new pieces of technology at the drop of a hat. Billy Billy would be the one to come up with complicated plans to catch the killer. Because he's not as adept to martial arts and the rest of his friends, he's also likely to be protected by them more than most. That makes Billy one of the most likely to survive a horror movie. Add to that the fact that he's one of the only characters to remain with the Power Rangers when he didn't have any power coins of his own anymore. And we've seen that in Zeo. He's also definitely making it to the sequel at the very least. So, hey, looks like Billy Blue, he's the one who survives. And number 2, Kimberly. Ooh, this one should be interesting. There's a perception of Kimberly that she's more damsel in distress than Power Ranger, but that's not true. She spends a lot of her time in the series saving her teammates and her classmates. She flies a plane when her pilot uncle is given a sleeping potion, plays music to combat a musical monster when the rest of the team is out of commission, and tricks Goldar into thinking she's under the influence of an evil spell to buy her more time. Kimberly even leads the team to pursue her lifelong gymnastics dream. I do remember those episodes. That was good stuff. Kimberly is a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I just, it popped in my head. I had to. She gets creative when she needs to. She asks for help, and she doesn't expect someone else to come save her. If anyone in the series is going to be the final girl, it's her, and maybe one other character. Okay, I can see that. Oh, Trini! Trini comes in number 1. Okay, let's go. There's one character in the original Power Rangers team who could give Kimberly a run for her money in the final girl department. Horror movie final girls aren't usually the most popular girl in school like Kimberly. Instead, they're more likely to be the best friend to the popular girl, the quiet one that everyone likes, but doesn't expect to go all the parties. Trini is liked by everyone. At the top of her class, she's quiet, observant, and just as creative as Kimberly. Trini is also much better trained at defending herself. She doesn't need the addition of Power Coin to be able to defend herself. Ooh. So there you go, guys. And again, this article is from Screen Rant. So I'll post the link in the description from screenrant.com. And again, thank you to my buddy Tony O'Murdoch for sending this to me. He was like, you should do something, Power Ranger-ish, where you're talking about horror flick type stuff. And he's seen this article and sent it to me. So thank you, buddy, for sending that. But man, that was good. I actually enjoyed that. And I want to know from you guys, do you agree with what they're saying, how they're matching up different people? We're going by 90s horror flick with the 90s Power Rangers. If they were in a 90s horror flick, this would be the ones who were least likely to survive. This would be the one that would become the villain, so on and so forth. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was pretty interesting, and for the most part, I feel like I agree with their choices and kind of, how their overlook of these characters. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, please join the squad. Subscribe right now, like this video. Yeah, join the squad, man. We got videos coming out every week. Lots of fun stuff. I got skits, I got comic book reviews. I'm on TikTok, and sometimes I got a new series that I'm doing on TikTok called Tommy Talk, where I'm in character as Tommy, talking about fun facts about Tommy. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a happy, more phenomenal Halloween. Hoo-yah!